Hello everyone. Right, we're going to get started on doing the soldering on the track. So for starters, we need wire, wire cutters, wire strippers, screwdriver, pair of tweezers, solder, couple of heat sinks, which are over here, a couple more, soldering iron, which is on, and this little device here which helps sucks up any excess solder. May need to use that, may not, and more than likely probably will end up using some more tools, but that's pretty much all I need at the moment to get started with. Okay, now over here there is a selection of holes I've already pre-drilled into the track side, ready for the dropper cables to go into. And over here, for my reference, so far I've started it already, but I've marked up where positive and negative are. Now, because the Hornby turntable here changes polarity when it gets halfway round, we've marked negative and positive on either side of the track so that I can monitor where everything's all going to. So over here we have, let's have a look, we have negative here, we've got positive over there, we come over here, we've got negative again here, and then over here we've got positive. Okay, so we'll have negative here, negative here, positive here, negative, positive. You get the idea. So what we'll do is we'll go around this whole set here and we'll just make sure that absolutely everything is in the right polarity. Now, in the case where it might not be, what we might find we have to do is put some isolator fish plates in, add a switch, and that way then we can set the train onto that track, and then we can turn the polarity off one way, turn it back on the other way, and then can carry on. Right, so I think I've gotten quite lucky with this because I found that when the turntable comes around in this direction, this is where it changes polarity here. Now, fortunately, over here we've got positive and negative, and we've got positive and negative again over there. And then if we come over here, we find that the positive and negative are in the same direction, here and here, look. Okay, so over here, where it does change polarity, in this case it's not going to matter because here is where the track ends. Obviously there's going to be a buffer stop there once I'm finished with all this. So therefore we don't have to worry about putting isolators in and switches. Although there are isolators in here, there's an isolator fish plate in here. The reason for that is so that I can turn the power off to this track here and keep the fiddle yard isolated from the rest of the track. So what I will do is I will add an extra controller to the fiddle yard so that I can actually operate the fiddle yard at the same time as the branch line. The power pack is already in ready. It's obviously down here, look. I'm using the H&M Duet. because the obviously the branch line is analog and the main line is digital. So the far left controller there is operating the branch line, and the far right and the right one is going to be operating the fiddle yard. Right, okay, so at this point all the point motors are in, and then all the lighting is now in, as you know. So what we'll do next is we'll start adding all the droppers, and we'll go from there. The motors, by the way, are not wired up yet, but they are in. So let's get cracking with this then, shall we? Okay, right, I've hit a bit of a snag. I've done this a couple of times now, and I've redone it, but as you can see here on this one point here, I've drilled a hole there, and it's right next to this piece here, which keeps the wheel in line on the track and stops it from jumping off the track. So if I damage that, I'm going to ruin the point. So what I've done on a couple of them now is I've re-drilled the hole down here, so that when I apply heat to the track, so I can put solder on it, it won't melt that, being made of plastic. So when you are connecting droppers through for your track, just make absolutely sure that pieces like this is not going to get in your way. So here we go. So I've managed to reach right in here to get at that wire there, and now while tunnel's out, I can get to these two wires here and those two there and connect them up to the bus wire here for the lights. So I'm going to do that now, and then hopefully that's the end of all the struggling. Well, at least for now anyway. And another part I've got to do as well as I'm cleaning the track is these little bits here that are solder that's sitting on top of the track here is all got to be cleaned off, and then anything that's on the inside edge here as well as that one needs to be cleaned off as well. So I'm going to be pretty busy. That one's actually quite heavy there. Where are we? There. That one's quite heavy, so got to file all that down as well as, just to ensure that the trains run across the track nice and smoothly. Right then, all that's left now to do is to clean the track. I've tested it all. It's all working all absolutely fine now. The points are all working. All that to clean up all around there. That's going to be the tricky one. But yeah, all that to clean. And hopefully it'll all work nice and smoothly. Okay, this could all go completely pear-shaped, or it's going to actually work. So let's give it a whirl and see what happens. So over here you'll see the control panel here. Right, currently the locomotive at the moment is on that line there. So we'll switch that one over now. So hopefully there's no power on there. The power is on to the turntable as well as. So hopefully I'll turn the dial and something will probably move. And no, nothing at all. Good start, isn't it? Now try again. No, still nothing. Hang on. Perhaps it just needs a bit of a push. No, still not working. How bizarre is that? Right, okay. I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, let's try again. Turns out there's actually something wrong with the locomotive. If I remember rightly, I think that one has a DCC chip in it. Although it shouldn't affect it, and I know it works on the DCC, I've put a normal analog one on there and that works. So we'll try again. Here we go. And then we want, ooh, let's put it onto the track there. Like that. And then, so I'm still trying to work out where all the switches are, so I want that one there. So right, okay, let's just let's give it a whirl and see what happens. Right, so here we go. Success at the moment. Oh, that judded a bit there. It's probably due to a bit of rubbish on the track still. Oh no, hang on a minute. No, that is another switch. Let's try that one. No, it's not that one. Try that one. No, it's not that one either. Let's try that one. No. Oh no, hang on a minute. You know what? I'm going along here and I realised there's a switch missing there. And the reason why there's a switch missing there is because when I was at the rail fair the other day, I actually bought some new switches, and that is to go in there, but its temporary replacement is down here. So turn that on and hopefully it should move. Come on. No, it's still not having it. Oh God, what have I done wrong here? Oh, here we go. Wrong switch. And that hopefully should go all up to the end. See, it's still playing up a little bit. I might have to have another play with these. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, hang on, it stopped there because there's no power. Hang on, so we're on that one there, so that one, there we go. Now we've got power. It keeps stopping. Thing is though, is I'm trying to video this. I've got it, the switch on, but my hand is too far away from the dial, not from the controller for it to so if we try and go back the other way and give them a push with the hand of God again. See, it's still touch and go, but you know, at the end of the day, it's the first time I've got this working, so it still needs a bit of a play with. But that is working beautifully in most places. Let's go for another track. The turntable's still quite noisy. There is a foam pad inside here that tried and deadened the noise down a little bit. But I haven't been really too successful with that at the moment. But I'm quite happy with the way things are going. Turn him off and then turn power back on again. Oh, wrong way. That way. And then off he goes again. Alright, he stops there simply because there's a switch at that point there, and the switch switches from one to the other. Although it does. See, I've got a twin controller on here. The one controller is controlling. One controller is controlling the fiddle yard, and the other one is controlling the rest of the DC layout. So try and get him come back again now. No, it still needs a nudge. The track's probably still dirty in some places, that's probably why. He's going in the wrong direction. Maybe the right direction. Too fast. Let's hope he goes all the way up there. Right, now then. He has stopped there because, there we go, there's an isolator switch there and here. And then I can stop him there. And then I can turn the controller back in the direction, pull the switch back and off he goes again. They're good little runners, these little tank engines, aren't they? Okay. Oops, wrong way. Okay. Obviously, the track needs cleaning there again, obviously. But it's working. Not brilliantly, but it's working. But that'll do for now. This whole entire area here now is going to get painted matte black. And then I'm putting on this stuff here, which I got from the model shop a few weeks ago. I've been asked to do a review on this Jarvis stuff. So what I'll do is I will do this, and I will do the bushes that I've got as well, the hedge. I've got that one here as well as that I need to do. So yeah, I'm going to get those done. Put this in as well as, and then hopefully this will give me the like tarry, grimy engine shed sort of area that I'm looking for. And this whole entire area is going to be like that. Apart from that area there is going to be sort of like the depot sort of area. So there'll be a couple of buildings there, car parking, and there will also be a lot of walkways across the track, as well as obviously for the employees. The engine sheds are going to be going here and here. One's already built. I've got to build the other one yet. But all this lot here all runs, and of course this is not the this is not going to be the final look. I don't know. I'm just not happy with the finish of it. I've basically just drawn this out with a marker pen, and I don't know. It needs something else, I think. I'm not sure. I need to have a think about it, to be honest. But anyway, you can lift the lid up on here, and then under here you got a speed controller down here, which I cannibalized from a Hornby controller, just a cheap standard DC controller. That controls the speed of the turntable. And then you've got all the wires all up here, which all connect up to all the different switches here. I will be adding more switches as well as. So what I think I might actually do is I'm going to keep this basic plan. I'm going to add all the other various switches. Obviously there's one here at the moment I've got to replace. But at present I'm just going to put all the switches in, and then once I've got all the switches in, then I'll think about adding something else. I have been thinking about using like the stripes that you get that go down the sides of cars. I think they call it a pinstripe, I think. I was thinking about using that along these lines here. It might actually give a better finish, but we'll see. Anyway, for now it's working. I'm happy with the results at the moment. Obviously it still needs a little bit of tinkering with, but I need to spray the area now and also give it another clean again afterwards. The buffer stops have all got to be fitted. There's only this one really that's been temporarily fitted for now, just to sort of gauge and size up how the locomotives are going to go on there. So there's plenty of room for, say, a Flying Scotsman to sit on there without fouling the end of the turntable there. Oh, one other thing I need to mention also is these bulbs here. I've got some more over here, which are going to be fitted also into the yard here. But I've got these ones here that have got little grain of wheat bulbs inside them, and I got one heck of a shock the other day. Not an electrical shock, but a shock as in the fact that these get extremely hot, to a point where it actually burnt my arm. I was leaning over here while the lights were on, and I accidentally touched one of these, and it actually burned my arm. So if you do buy any lights that have got a grain of wheat bulb in them, I don't know whether this will actually focus. No, it won't. No, you can just about see it there. It's not an LED bulb like most of the others that I've got on the layout, but these do generate an enormous amount of heat, to the point where I'm actually surprised it's not burned the paint off. So yeah, if you do buy those, be extremely careful. Right. Okay. Now under here, so we got all the wiring under here, is surprisingly all tidied up. Most of the wires are all bunched together. Nothing's colour coded, but it is labelled in places, just so that I know what's what. I've used a lot of the same colour more than twice. But at the end of the day, though, it shouldn't take too much of an issue to rectify any issues that do crop up. But yeah, you can now understand why it took me so long to build this. And of course, then the wires come up. I've already showed you under here, but you got all the wires that are coming up into there. I got the light on there, so you can see easier in there now. But yeah, it's took me since August to build this, on and off over the weeks. I've been quite busy at late as well, doing another project here on the layout, which I will get to in a later video. There you can still see some pink in the wall there. So I actually had just enough paint to do one coat, but there's going to be some scenics, back scene sort of area across there, so that'll cover all that up. But it's not pink anymore. It's not pink, and shots that I do on the layout now are going to look far, far better. So that's it for now, really. I mean, everything all works. Find the right switch. So you've got the points here. Which one's that one? There we go. That one works. That one works there as well. And we'll come to this one here. Yeah, that one works as well as. So everything's all working properly, which I'm really, really pleased with. You know, that one's working. So the Cobalt DCU2 Plus works extremely well. As you know, in a previous video, I connected up the one side of that unit up to the DC line, the branch line on the top of the layout here. I've now connected the other side up to the fiddle yard. So now I've got the two supplies working, and it's working exceptionally well. There's no buzzing at all now. I can flick switches really quickly. And there's hardly any delay at all. I can flick more than one set of points at the same time, which is really good. So yeah, so I know there's definitely power to the track now. There's definitely the points are definitely working, the turntable is most certainly working, and the bulbs are working way too well. So all I got to do now is start doing the scenics on here now. That probably won't be now until after Christmas, but we'll see how things progress. Right then, so for now, that's it.